Action.
Hello, my name is Ash Jordan. I'm 15 years old, and I believe that capital punishment should be reintroduced back in the UK.
Hello, my name is Reece. I'm 16 years of age, and I believe capital punishment should not be reintroduced back into the UK.
Capital punishment, or the death penalty, is a legal process whereby a person is put to death by the state as punishment for a crime. I have no doubt that if we were to declare war on criminals in this fashion, we would see a rapid decline in serious crimes such as murder, paedophilia and rape. Some sources report that 5 years after abolishing the death penalty, the number of crimes that were committed more than doubled in the UK. 300 years ago there was no media. Newspapers first started in England around 1725 and were expensive and very limited circulation. In any case, few people could read at that time. So public executions were vital to show that justice had been done and provide a deterrent to others, and thus decreasing the overall crime rate.
In the USA, 1973, 130 people were sentenced to death row that have been wrongly executed. This shows the legal killing of innocent people is a common mistake. That's 3 1/4 people every year.
False. In the UK, those 130 people have been found innocent and released from death row, restoring faith in the legal system. However, people served with life sentences are often let out of prison for good behaviour, only to reoffend. If capital punishment was reintroduced, criminals would be prevented from repeating their crimes, thus meaning the public will be more likely to help law enforcement, as they know criminals will not be let out. In Honduras, where there is no death penalty, statistics show that there are around 58 homicides per 100,000 people as of 2011, whereas St Kitts Nevis, where the capital punishment is still in use, there is only 34 homicides per 100,000 people.
However, in Jamaica, that has the death penalty in force, yet still has nearly the same number of homicides per 1,000 as Honduras.
But this means that there is some correlation between imposing the death penalty and having higher homicide rates.
But this correlation is in fact weak and bordering on insignificant.
Centuries ago, different parts of the world practiced the death penalty through decapitation. This is the process wherein the head of a prisoner is being separated from his or her body. However, methods in which prisoners are killed makes a substantial moral difference. British-style hanging is an extremely quick process that is designed to cause instant and deep unconsciousness, and also benefits from requiring simple and thus quick preparation of the prisoner. It also seems to have a substantial deterrent value. The lethal injection is a very slow process, however it allows the prisoner to die a pain-free death. The biggest single objection to the lethal injection is the length of time required to prepare the prisoner, which can take between 20 and 45 minutes. But what is time when it comes to protecting the public?
The death penalty is the ultimate denial of human rights. It is the primitive and cold-blooded killing of a human being by the state in the name of justice. It violates the right to life, as proclaimed in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It is the ultimate cruel, inhumane and degrading punishment, whatever form it takes. Electrocution, gassing, hanging, beheading, stoning, shooting or lethal injection.
Those criminals forfeited their rights when they decided to break the law in the first place. Keeping these criminals in circulation is a violation of the public's human rights and endangers the public's life. If a person commits a severe crime, aforementioned, they deserve to be punished for it. You take a life, you lose a life. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Many criminals are impoverished and psychologically unstable, whom which commit crimes to go back to prison. After all, that is the only life they know.
The majority of people that reoffend are drug and alcohol addicts looking for a bed and food. These criminals need to be rehabilitated and to get off drugs and alcohol and to be sent to probation to get a stable life. Killing criminals is just a waste of funds we just don't have.
It is evident that the rehabilitation system is a flawed system, as many supposed rehabilitated criminals go on to reoffend. The incurrence of cost should not be a factor when considering whether or not to end an individual's life. Reoffenders negate the money spent trying to rehabilitate them, as funding a failing rehabilitation system is a negative economy.
In conclusion, I still believe that capital punishment should not be reintroduced into the UK. Instead, I believe the society and the government should spend the annual cost on sending serious and reoffenders to rehabilitation and the probation scheme, and small-time criminals are sent on bail. Thank you for hearing my side of this debate.
Although I am in favour of an improved rehabilitation system when considering minor offences, I still believe that capital punishment should be reintroduced into the UK instead of using and funding a failing rehabilitation system for serious offences. Thank you for your time and allowing me to present my side of the debate.
Okay, thank you, chaps. I think we've got some questions to follow. Ash, why don't you start with your first question?
Reece, there are more stabbings and shootings in the UK today than there were in the 1950s when capital punishment was still an option. So how can you say that capital punishment doesn't work?
Well, guns are more available in the black market. The government has no control on how many guns are produced in the black market, so therefore capital punishment doesn't work.
If the victims' families continue to pay tax to the government, then they would essentially be paying money to keep the murderer alive. Do you think this is right?
Yes, I do think this is right. They should be sentenced to death. Everyone deserves a second chance. He might have had a wrong turn in his life, but it's still a family member that is someone's son or daughter.
What would you do with a 30-year-old stable-minded rapist who rapes and killed a 10-year-old girl? Does he deserve to live?
Yes, he does deserve to live, but he deserves minimal human rights. He deserves to be sent on a probation scheme and to be watched until a decent age where he is released. Ash, would you advocate the same form of justice should the perpetrator be a close family member like a father or brother?
When it comes to capital punishment, it should be a universal and generic punishment, not differentiating between whether it's a family member, someone you know, or otherwise.
Which method of capital punishment would you use and why?
I would use English hanging, as it's relatively quick, painless, and cost-effective.
It is much, much more expensive to sentence someone to death than it is to maintain them in prison on life without parole. So what about the financial burden that lays on the taxpayers?
What is money when it comes to protecting the public? The country's interest should be protecting the public's lives, not the cost.
Surely even just one person was subsequently found to be innocent, then the whole system would prove to be flawed. Do you agree?
As the facts I aforementioned, of those 130 people, they were released. The legal system works, and thus protecting the public by using it.
Okay, thank you guys.